look at a pro athlete. A pro athlete, if you had friends that are pro athletes or either hockey, football, baseball, basketball, whatever it may be, their careers are marred with injuries and trials, right? And all those sort of things that come up. Same thing happens on the other side. You have to expect you're going to pull a muscle, you're going to break a limb, you're going to get your nose busted or bloodied. It's going to happen in the business. Yeah. One way or another, your business is going to fail. The pandemic's going to hit. Something's going to happen. It's going to inevitably.
Yeah.
But it's your ability to get through it, and have the faith to get through it, and desire and willpower to get through it.
Hi, everybody. David Donaldson here with Joe Martin. Thanks for listening to this edition of Entrepreneurial Impact with Tom Hale. This is episode 1 of 2, which will be dropping next week, so be sure to come back. And we learn about Tom's trip into the Ukraine and his experiences of traveling overseas during these tough times. Right. So we all think about where we got to sometimes, and Tom and I were just talking about that song, How Did I Get Here by the Talking Heads, right? How did I get here? Well, my journey started back in early 2000s when I was an investor. I wanted to invest in real estate. I didn't know what I was doing. And I had a friend named Douglas Foss who sold cigars to the resort where I was a restaurant manager at. And I think I just bought my first property. And Doug was like, hey, you got to meet this guy, Tom. He can really help you out and set you up for success. I said, okay, I'm all about this. So I go and meet Tom. Tom's at a place called Spectrum Financial. I don't even know if that still is in existence now. But Tom was a lender for me at the time. And Tom was somebody I got to know. And we got to be in business together for a number of years as I started to invest in properties for myself. I remember searching for property. I remember searching for mobile parks for you, Tom, looking for established opportunities. And it's just funny how a simple conversation with somebody can introduce you to somebody and have a monumental impact in what we are. And here we are now. We were saying we met roughly in 2004, about that time frame. And now here we are 17 years later.
Yeah, no question.
And I'm doing a lot of things different, and you were doing things different now. So, Tom, thanks for joining me today. I'm really
excited. It's so good to see you again, man. My God.
It has been too long. And I think back to me in 2004, 2005 in relative terms was yesterday. I remember walking to your office and doing different things. But before we jump into that, Tom, tell me and tell our audience a little bit about you. Like, where did Tom Hale come from? Like, how did Tom go from college to an investor to lender to some really exciting things that I'm looking forward to touching on in a little bit? But where did that all start for you?
You know, where did it come from? Like anything, just an accumulation of skills, all the things you learn, all the companies you start, all the opportunities you're a part of, they do compile themselves. And after a while, you've got a repertoire of skills and events and experience that is kind of unique to you. What I am grateful to have been able to do is to take those experiences and those attributes and combine them together. And then what I've been doing for the last 20 years is just a version of taking all those Lego pieces and compiling them into different formats that I already know, and then taking those formats and extrapolating revenue streams from them. So, for example, if you create a company and then you create your own affiliates off of that company so that you support your company and create new companies off that not only support you, but support the marketplace and your competitors, then essentially you've grown market share and revenue without recreating your own wheel. If that makes sense. Everything's in line.
It does, because especially like in real estate and with our organization, Keller Williams, there's lots of opportunities within real estate to do multiple different channels.
Are you still with Keller Williams? You're still in real estate?
I am. I am the regional technology director or business coach for the Virginia's region. 4,400 associates. So I literally went from a guy who was thinking about investing in real estate to you saying, hey, go get your license. And now here I am 17 years later, coaching agents on how to leverage technology in their business.
But that's precisely what I was talking about before. You took your previous experience,
Yep.
The restaurant owner, then as a business owner, and as a real estate professional, and combined those aspects and skill with some of your IT background and Cindy's. And created this unique potpourri of, or quiver of attributes. And that, I think, is the skill set. That, I think, is what's important, because it's not one dimensional anymore. It's 4 dimensions. It's everything that's involved. And those attributes are ones that you know how to use. Those are the easiest for you to control. And the more you master those and outsource the things that you don't, the better you will be. And the opportunities lie within that. So, for example, creating your company and then creating what your company, say, for example, your company has to do tax reports for the LLCs that you put together. So form an organization or link with organizations that can do the tax reporting so that you're in line and compliance with what you do. And yet at the same time, you're earning revenue off of what's an Achilles heel, mandatory for your company. It's also saleable, scalable. It doesn't cost you any more to set up. Little opportunities like that, in my opinion, are what make a difference. That all just goes back to your experience.
So for you, what pre-existed that experience, right? When you left Spectrum and you invested in Hale Financial.
Started with Hale. We wound up being acquired by BNC National Bank, and then which was acquired by Alaris. Did okay with that. Wound up in doing private money, which was lending, but under
angel investing.
I'm sorry,
angel investing or investing in no,
just not angel. That was just private money. So
okay.
on investment type property, investing where banks are very slow to perform or non-committal. For example, short-term investment property, banks aren't so excited to loan you money to have something for 6 months, right? And partners are expensive. So I figured with collateral, somebody could buy a property for X, put a bit of money down on it, and pay residual to me as an investor it's cheaper than a partner, right? And we can do that multiple times. Those are the type of things you develop. So if you were going that route, for example, you're going to do private money, or you're going to invest in short-term property. You want things like insurance, construction, finance, how to take it out, title companies. You figure out lanes and things you can repeat and things you can improve upon within your own business, and then add those in. So if Donaldson Homes, right, were to go with an insurance company that new people buying homes need insurance, if you got an insurance broker or you became an insurance broker, you could do your own insurance, make the residual from that. Real estate's a means to an end. You can also service people that don't just work with you, but that work with other people in your office that they need home insurance for, and there you go. I mean, that type of thing is what I'm talking about, where you're not just one-dimensional. You've got some depth, but in the same sphere. Mine exploded into many spheres. So from ammunition to, coaching in Canada to, all sorts of things it develops into. And that's the exciting part for me. I like doing different projects. I'm involved with an ammunition company out of Scottsdale, Arizona called Ammo Incorporated. We went public in 20, I believe, or 21. And it's been magnificent, but to see it grow. And then some of the other things that have come out of being able to put some money into different businesses and things that are really incredible and watch them just develop and grow. It's exciting. And so getting involved in it's important, but also knowing what to get involved in, because just because somebody has a company they want to pitch to you doesn't mean that it's worth investing in. That's a whole nother story.
Right. That's the challenge of having money, is then you attract people that want your money, right? So you have to be able to be informed enough to make the right decisions. And sometimes it's having people in your world. So who were some of those people for you? You were well informed, but I'm sure you had some people in your life that helped you make some of those decisions. Right? What did that look like?
100%. Key people. Gentleman named Tim Connor. My father. Tim Connor. My goodness, I've got Neil Thompson, Tommy Conley, Tommy Marlowe. So many people contribute, even to this day. Most of the, I would say, success is built on your relationships around you, because just like when you need somebody to guide you through a process of acquiring some real estate, be it commercial investment real estate or land or a primary home or second home or all those things. You want somebody that's versed in it. So you know who to call. You call Dave Donaldson. One thing I would say that's been beneficial is being able to refer to others without a kickback. So I think kickbacks are a relationship ruiner. I think it's important to recognize others' skills and pay them in full for them, and expect referral in full for them, not forced, but because you add value. And if you add value, it's going to look good on you and on them. That I would say is huge.
Tell me for contribution, right? You're doing something because it's the right thing to do. And it's when you're getting business with professionals, right? Whether it's a lender or a title company or somebody else, and I refer you business, I'm referring you business because you're going to do it well.
Absolutely. And if you have to dig into their pocket in order to keep your business, at some point it fails. And the ability to keep a relationship where you can send somebody some business and they will profit from it indefinitely and undoubtedly if they do it correctly. And if they don't, it also keeps you clear that you didn't benefit from it other than trying to help somebody. Make sense?
100.
We go by relationships. And I've been fortunate. I have relationships all around the world. From my extracurriculars, I enjoy, I don't know if you know this or not, but I enjoy ice swimming. I'm an ice swimmer. I'm a marathon swimmer, an ocean marathon swimmer. And
that's some of the things what's great is that we haven't talked to each other in a while, but through Facebook and right through those type of periphery relationships, I can keep up to speed with something. So I have seen you do some of these. Let's talk about that because that's not something we met in Arizona. There wasn't a whole lot of ice swimming in Arizona. Okay. But now I see you going all over the place and doing some of these massive ocean water swims. Where did that come from?
I started open water swimming in college. I just dabbled with it. And then it wasn't until I moved here in 2004, 2005 that I started doing it a little bit more recreationally here, mostly with my daughter, Faith.
So here now is California.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah. I live in Laguna Beach, California.
Okay.
And the water here is beautiful. There's a strong water connection here. I sail, I surf, I swim. And that's kind of what I enjoy doing. Right. So my activities seem to evolve around it. But that activity has also taken me around the world and introduced me to some truly spectacular people and that you have relationships with around the planet, Russia included, Ukraine included, Poland, all over. And really gives you a chance to grow and see things outside of our perspective. And I think that's part of if you want to call it success, it's not all just financial. It's the richness of your life, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, we like to call it life by design, right? And it doesn't necessarily start off by that specific, but we talk, whether it's 1, 3 year, 5 year goals, you start to have vision. And the opportunities that you invest in yourself and how you grow your businesses and how you leverage your time and your money allows you to do more, right? So you touched on your personal life saying, here's things that I'm able to do more of now because earlier in my life, I poured into my business and to others that allowed me the opportunities to grow, right? Now you're spending time.
Important though, Dave, you need to know. So look at a pro athlete. A pro athlete, if you have friends that are pro athletes or either hockey, football, baseball, basketball, whatever it may be, their careers are marred with injuries and trials, right? And all those sort of things that come up. Same thing happens on the other side. You have to expect you're going to pull a muscle, you're going to break a limb, you're going to get your nose busted or bloodied. It's going to happen in a business. Yeah. One way or another, your business is going to fail. The pandemic's going to hit. Something's going to happen. It's going to inevitably.
Yeah.
But it's your ability to get through it and have the faith to get through it and desire and willpower to get through it. And I'm not saying that I have a solution to that or that I have it cornered because I don't, but I've been there a bunch of times. And I find it in swimming. I find it in the discomfort of swimming at times and in the comfort and pleasure of swimming. I find it in business. It's very similar. I find it in follow through. just like you did today, following up, making sure we're on time, making sure we communicate. Those to me are the building blocks. The actual process itself, the product itself is an entity to itself, but everything that you do to get there and how you support it is really, to me, what makes the difference. And the relationships you have and can build with those that become part of your team and part of your product. One thing I will say is that many of the clients that I have in my world today, I've had for years and years and years. And it's because I know them and they know me, right? And it just keeps building, if that makes sense. And they bring opportunity. Tom, take a look at this. What do you think of this? Is it something that's in your wheelhouse? Maybe, maybe not. But if not, here's David. Talk to David. This would be right in David's wheelhouse. All right, I may give you a call and say, David, this gentleman, this family, or this company is looking for X or Y. You should talk to them, not pay me X percentage. Just talk to them. This is where they are. They appreciate it. You appreciate it. And good things come as a result. I understand the ambition to go ahead and try to take and earn something from that. That's a legitimate referral business. But to me, the best referral comes from somebody who just says, listen, just talk to Tom. And, if that's great, if he can do it for you, terrific. And if not, maybe he can tell you somebody who can. And there's no relationship back, no financial tie to anybody. That to me makes a big deal, because everything today that you get referred to, you kind of have to think in the back of your mind, is he calling John X because John X is going to give him a couple of dollars, and that's not necessarily the best person for me.
I couldn't
Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah. I mean, like in your business, I would imagine it happens. Like people, listen, if I bring you XYZ, they want you to do XYZ. And while it may sound good, in the end, it's terminal, in my opinion.
There's a referral-based business. Okay, that's a business in itself. But when it comes to referring people to help represent, I never make a recommendation. I have never made a recommendation based off of financial opportunity for myself.
Yeah, I mean, but it's really simple though. Then once people grab it, then they know that if you tell them some things, because that's the best person that you know for them, and that's simply that. And being, just for lack of a better word, a friend or a resource rather than just a referral partner.
Yeah, coming from contribution, and you never and you did it because it's the right thing to do. You never know what's going to come.
Another thing I think is awesome too is reach out to the people that are important and that make a difference personally, professionally, for other reasons than just what they offer you. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's what they could offer you from learning from them, right?
Just in touch to say, here I am. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? A little bit, rather than every time, oh my gosh, here's Tom again. He's calling. He's going to ask me for something, right? That makes a difference to me.
I think it's important. There's a lot of truth around like who you're in relationship with determines who you are, right? Yeah. If you want to grow, right, you can't be the smartest guy in the room. You've got to be continually growing yourself.
But you have to offer value to that group. You have to offer value to the group. Or if your value is sweat equity, becoming a Dave Donaldson, right? It's sweat equity. And you realize you're investing in this person and you may or may not see the fruit of that. You may or may not see the fruit of it, but that's okay. Because that's okay, because you can't control it anyway. Right. So it's kind of if you ask me, that I think is probably the most valuable thing I could say to you. And for your many followers, is just be the best person in your sphere that you can be and refer. And if you see something you can earn money with, then put your system together and reapproach the people, letting them know exactly what's going on, and give it a shot. Some are going to work, some aren't, but you just got to keep at it. And that sounds ridiculous. And
no, it doesn't sound ridiculous at all. I think what's incredibly important and what I love is that when people reach out to me with the off-the-cuff questions, just because they know that, hey, if I ask Dave, he's probably going to have some sort of an answer for me. And it's seldom real estate related. It could be anything else. But when you put yourself in that realm to be beneficial to others and try to be in the know and go, like, I don't know, but I'll find out. I get those questions all the time.
That's why you get them.
Yeah.
So you get them. So, I mean, and it doesn't mean, I think it's cool. I mean, for somebody such as yourself, so somebody like your real estate professionals and your lenders, things like that. I mean, if they can reach out and become intimately aware of what people in their sphere are doing and what they need, and become a part of it. See, then it's not just a call to action; it's a call, and it's that to me, I guess, is what it's about. I like to hear and have opportunity.
It's relationships. It goes back to what we started from the beginning. It's really, so when I call somebody, like, it's a call to further a relationship. Now, there are times where I may, hey, I need something, or I have something for you.
Absolutely.
But it's not when I call. It's legitimately calling to catch up, get reacquainted, let's talk. How are you doing? Mm-hmm. Business circles and comes around when it's necessary.
Yeah.
But relationships, the driver.
Right. When you need it, it's there. And that's what you want. That's what you want. And so if I had to say anything, that's what I would say. I mean, I think it's.
Now, one thing I do know to be true is that, when I've talked to a lot of people now. This is what I love about this podcast. I've talked to a lot of different business owners now. And while everything looks good, it's not always the case. Like, you took the sweat equity, the drive, the decision making. There's a lot of hardships that come along, and sure, not everything is as rosy as it sounds. Right. So kind of share with everybody, like, what are some of the things that you've learned over time that maybe caught you off guard and you weren't prepared for as far as decision making goes, or whatever?
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially dealing overseas, you realize that, there have been times that I thought I absolutely knew exactly what was going on, only to find out that you know absolutely nothing about what's going on, and there are a million opportunities for that, especially dealing like in Asia. It's just a different animal, right? And there's really no way to go through it but except to do it, I guess, in other words, or hire it out. But that's another experience, So I guess, there's a billion challenges out there, but you got to keep reinventing. You got to keep moving forward, and you find what works and just keep developing. I don't think there's a shortcut.
No,
if you find it, let me know. But I mean, it's not about.
There are no shortcuts.
No,
the shortcut is to failure, right? There is no shortcut
or detriment. I mean, it is very cut and dry from that perspective.
And it's how you respond, right? You're going to fall down. You need to fall down.
Athletes are going to get hurt. Gymnasts are going to fall off the beam. Gymnasts are going to miss the landing. They're going to turn their ankles. They are going to. If you go in afraid of that, you have to be ready to stick the landing and to risk falling off the horse, or to risk getting tackled by some 720,000-pound 50-mile runner, right? You got to be able to bear it. Otherwise, you're in the wrong game. And it's full contact. Life's full contact. It's amazing what you can do if you just give yourself the credit to get it started. And don't try to figure out all the time everything that has to come together for you to do it. It may happen in 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, but you're on your way. David, I'm stoked for you, and I'm happy that you're helping some people, and it's awesome. If I can ever be of service to you, let me know.
I'm just glad we reconnected again, my friend. I will talk to you soon.
Hi, everybody. David Donaldson here with Joe Martin. Thanks for listening to this edition of Entrepreneurial Impact with Tom Hale. This is episode 1 of 2, which will be dropping next week, so be sure to come back. And we learn about Tom's trip into the Ukraine and then his experiences of traveling overseas during these tough times. Have a great day. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.